Hi, I'm Alex Paisley Stedman with IdeateTV, and today we're here with Kevin McHugh, the artist of all of this you see behind us. Can you give us a rundown of what's going on?
So I started out in love with sailfish many years ago, and I started to obsess with them and cover them in peacock feathers and glitter and everything. And I finally wound up making beautiful pieces with Swarovski crystal. I got into conservation for all the billfish like marlin and swordfish and stuff. And then I got into sea turtles and sea turtle conservation. And then a lot of women in my life were like, where's the shark love? And, you know, I grew up traumatized by Jaws, and I did a shark, and I started to realize the world is full of shark love. And if you don't protect the top predator, then you're not going to have shrimp and scallops or anything like that. So I really got into it. And then Coachella asked me to make a piece for them. And in my mind, I thought it was in the desert, and I just pictured everything melting. And we came up with the idea of doing mirror tile, which is better suited for that. And Disco Shark was born and became a thing. The kids started their own Facebook page that went to Coachella. This was the 10th year in a row it went back to Coachella. It's raised over $50,000 for different ocean conservation efforts like Wild Aid, Oceana, and Shark Savers. 3 different couples over the years have met under the Disco Shark, and during COVID, I had 3 commissions to make smaller Disco Sharks for their wedding. So it's a great story unto itself, and I'm making a new 10-foot shark next year for Coachella 2024. So this one can go into retirement.
Wow, so this is the Disco Shark. This is the original.
That is the original Disco Shark. Yeah.
We are getting a special treat.
Yes, it lives at a nightclub called Sound in LA when it's not out in the desert.
That's amazing. So now you're Pro Shark, so we love that. You've got the ocean behind you. Yeah. So you said 10 feet will be the longest, the biggest. What, is that the biggest you've ever made?
The biggest piece I ever made was a marlin that's closer to 12 feet. I'll show you a picture of it. And it was in a gallery in Miami, and an Armenian businessman bought it. I called it Marlin Grando, of course. And it's in the Museum of Contemporary Art in Armenia now.
What a flex.
I was watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians when they were there, hoping they would pass by it, but I didn't see it.
Well, maybe they did. They just got in the B-roll, you know?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, so how long did it take you to make Disco Shark?
Probably 3 to 4 weeks. Like once I got the mold done, it was a good 2 weeks with the mirror tile, because you have to cut it to get it around all the curves and inside the mouth and stuff like that. So it's pretty complex to do. Not as long, like if it was covered in Swarovski crystals, that would have taken double the amount of time, because that's individually applied as well too.
Speaking of, have you had anybody commission you to make like their own Disco Shark with any kind of crazy crystals or anything?
Yes, I've made a lot of crystal sharks. I am one couple who met under the Disco Shark. I'm in the middle of a commission to make a disco poodle for their wedding, because they have a giant-sized poodle that almost died when it was a baby, and they want it to be part of the wedding, and it has to be in a bowing dog yoga position, because that's the position the dog is always in. So I'm crazy in the middle of making that. But yeah, I've done sharks in different patterns. Emilio Pucci, the fashion designer, used to be a pilot in World War II and got a lot of inspiration for his prints from being above in an airplane looking down, and they called him the Prince of Prints. And so a lot of the work I do is inspired by his work. I got to meet his granddaughter. I've gotten to meet Nadja Swarovski from Swarovski Crystals, and I've just gotten to meet great people that really care about the ocean and marine life, especially here, like seeing divers who worked with disabled people. And then the Scuba Queen came to visit me, tell me all about getting more women into diving, and I really like that, and the Women Hall of Fame. My real job is I'm the Chief Happiness Officer at the Lower East Side Girls Club in Manhattan, which is after-school programming for middle school and high school girls in our underserved community. and they're really into shark love too. Like, I thought they have enough to worry about, but they really understand that a candy wrapper goes into the sewer, goes into the East River, and ends up, poisoning. And sharks and whales are coming closer to shore in New York because the water's getting cleaner too. And we have a group of kids that works on, they're called Cafeteria Culture. They've gotten styrofoam out of all the New York City public school cafeterias. They did a documentary on microplastics. The youth really give me faith. Even watching these little kids get in the freezing cold pool this morning, they're braver than I am, but I really have faith in them. They really seem to understand that the environment is in a really tricky spot right now and needs a lot of help.
Well, that's awesome. It sounds like you're doing a lot to give back to your community in a lot of different ways. So we really appreciate that. Thank you for taking the time to do this. And I'm Alex Paisley Stedman with IdeateTV.